Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again. Should I even say once again at this point? Ugh, I'm real sorry guys. The start of the year has been very slow on this channel. I've only released one video so far, I think, this year. Well, actually, no, we did the top 10 of 2023 on January 1st or 2nd or something like that. So I think I've done 2 videos this year and we're already 11 days into the year. So not off to a great start, but today we're going to be hopefully jumping back into things. We're going to be talking about a brand new game which just came out today called War Hospital. It is published by, I want to make sure I'm getting this name right, Tycoon, and it is developed by Brave Lamb Studio. It appears to be the first game that Brave Lamb Studio has developed, so should be interesting to see how this thing plays. As you would guess by the name, I mean, I kind of think of it as MASH Simulator, if you're familiar with that, but basically you're running a hospital during sort of the tail end of World War I, appears to be by the description, but this is very much my first look. Game just came out today. I woke up at like 4 a.m. couldn't sleep anymore, decided, hey, let's jump in and check this thing out. So let's go ahead and do that. You can see here there's a couple of options. Chapters, I'm assuming, is just like, you know, if you want to join a game midway through. So we haven't played yet, so chapter 1 is obviously going to be where we start. The game, it doesn't say it's early access, so I think it's a full release, and just looks like there's a new game option. So I don't see a ton of game modes here. Let's go ahead and jump in. The war that was supposed to end all world wars turned into one of the greatest human catastrophes of the 20th century. One of the few who tried to preserve a semblance of humanity were the members of the medical corps of the parties to this conflict. What you'll experience in a moment is both our vision of these activities and a tribute to all medical services in all theaters of war in the history of the world. Honor their memory. Yeah, it's definitely, you don't see a lot of games that are about running sort of the effort to cure wounded soldiers.
My dear son, I was unable to stop the events that led to the fact that today I am going to the front and you are no longer there. You cannot imagine how much pain I carry in my heart. With your death, I question the sense of my continued existence.
This must be some kind of joke.
But fate throws me to a place where I might be able to save your colleagues and many others.
Okay, so apparently we are the father of a son who was killed in the war. We're returning to the war, and I'm guessing to run a hospital, right?
Hello, sir. My name is Grissing, the head doctor of this hospital. If I may speak freely, sir, we expected more than just an officer's rank to support our current situation. The Hun could break through our lines at any moment now.
Head Doctor, mind your tongue. This is our new commander in charge. Sir, I'm delighted that someone with your experience is joining us. I recall your work in London very well.
I'm curious how much of this is story-based, like how strong the story is here, as opposed to just management of...
Major Henry Wells. As you all know, I was directed here to manage this hospital. I will count on your professionalism, regardless of your private opinions about me.
If I may, sir, we have wounded that are already waiting in casualty clearing station. We should tend to them first.
Agreed. We should not let them wait any longer.
To start, decisions must be made about their fate, sir. Their files are already waiting for you in casualty clearing station.
Okay, assigning patients part 1. So this is obviously a tutorial at this moment. You know, you jump in for the first time and you play it. Let's take a look and see how well the tutorial explains the game. Patients are waiting in the casualty clearing station. Click on the red button to enter the building and begin assigning the patients to doctors. So this is obviously triage, where you have to assign the priority of patients. You know, I would say this is kind of one of the hardest things that you would think about when you come into a hospital, in the sense of, a lot of times these soldiers' fate is determined based on how they're prioritized here. So it looks like we have one doctor. So Ernest Fairley, he's been waiting. I'm guessing this means he's been waiting for less than an hour.
Very well, sir. Now that a decision was taken, we can start operating on these patients.
So this is, there's only one person. So there's not much of a need there to worry about prioritization. I'm assuming you deny, like if someone's basically going to die, or, you know, then you move them down here to denied, which again, that's a fucking thing, especially in mass casualty incidents or in the case of war when you have more casualties than you have doctors. So you can see here we've got the casualty clearing station where cases are triaged or prioritized. And then you've got the operating ward over here. So it looks like we're kind of in the middle of a bombed out, or not bombed out, but damaged town. Here is where this hospital setup is. You've got staff lodging here in this, what appears to be a church, a canteen where folks work or get fed. Okay, so we got to carry them from the casualty clearing station. There's no medics assigned. All right. Okay, so we've got a couple of medics here. We can assign medics to different teams, so or different buildings. So there's obviously a casualty clearing station, advanced dressing station, cemetery for the medic teams, nurses, engineers, and what do the scouts do? Soldiers specially trained for reconnaissance that can be sent missions around the hospital. Okay. So we need to assign some medic teams to the casualty clearing station. I'm guessing we're not having the nurses. What did it tell me? Is this just a timed trailer? It doesn't actually base on what I'm clicking here. Okay. Anyway, we should assign some folks to the casualty clearing station. Maybe assign a nurse to the operating ward. We'll assign 2 of these guys to the casualty clearing station. Drag one of the available medic teams to one of the slots in the casualty clearing station. Close the view. Okay, no, so it's not timed. Got it.
Sir, medics are on the way.
Medics are on the way. All right, now that the medics are assigned to casualty clearing station, wait till the patient's carried to the operating ward. Gotcha. So you can see, I'm assuming these are the, I don't know. Are these the folks I assigned to the casualty clearing station? I don't know if you can hear it, but there's like folks screaming and stuff. Just a few. Oh, here they are. The medic teams that I assigned to the casualty clearing station now running in here to get the patient. They're carrying the individual on a stretcher over to the operating ward. So this must be like literally a frontline hospital if this is a casualty clearing station. So first place folks are taken after they're brought off the battlefield for care to this institution. So again, very similar to the show MASH, in that like obviously they're a little bit further back, but all right. So you can see here top operators Ernest Fairley. We've got some nurses already assigned. If we go here to patients, he's being operated on. You've got a little timer that counts down.
Sir, I'm afraid that one of our patients died.
Oh no, he died.
How did it happen? Was it a mistake or an oversight?
No, sir. It was
Just bad luck. He was too weak to survive.
The patient was too weak to survive the operation, and we could do nothing more to save him.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Maybe with better equipment we could do something, but the sad reality is that we cannot save them all.
I understand.
Okay.
Then we need to prepare his body.
So now we've got to go to the cemetery thing, right? So that'll be the next step here, because that is obviously, you know, you can't just let dead bodies sit in the hospital indefinitely. Failed operation part 1. Patients can die during operations. When that happens, they need to be buried. Okay. Where is the cemetery again? Ruthless. So apparently you get a score up here of humanitarian and ruthless. Ruthless, I'm guessing, is the number of folks who die, and then humanitarian is, I guess, the number of people you save. There's a lot of different buildings here. Pharmacy, warehouse. All right, so we'll go into the cemetery. We gotta have someone bury the guy, right? So, drag one of the available medic teams to one of the slots in the cemetery. All right, so cemetery over here. I don't know what the advanced dressing station is. Maybe just basic. You can see here there's assignments, staff, patients, improvements, trains, warehouse. I'm assuming we'll get into improvements. So there's kind of a tech tree progression thing. Trains to bring in either additional cargo, or maybe they even bring in patients. I'm not sure, but it looks like it's primarily cargo. Warehouses to store stuff like surgical supplies, trauma, medical supplies, food rations. Patient died during transport. Interesting. So not even an operation then? It looked like we got him there. You can set how much food rations will be eaten this day. This affects morale.
Sir,
All right.
medics are on the way.
All right, so they're going to bring him to the cemetery. Would they actually bury people in the cemetery of a hospital in this? We're out of surgical supplies. We need to get some, otherwise we won't be able to operate on patients. Order surgical supplies. Okay. How do I do that? Operating patients use supply. You've got no more surgical supplies. When in such a situation, you can order resources to arrive shortly. Click on the train station and continue. Okay. Is there like a mini map where I can just click on stuff? Or do I have to? You've got. I don't see much of a menu down here. Ordering resources. So I've got, does it really want me to scroll to the train station, or is that up here? There we go. So resources, surgical supplies. That's what we need. And I can order up to 80 of it. You can see there's a cost here. Really wants me to click on the train station itself, doesn't it? I prefer using the menu button. It'd be nice also if when you click on it, if it brought you to the actual train station rather than like whatever, but okay, so let's go ahead and order resources. Same exact screen we were just on before. Wants me to order 40 of them. You can see there's obviously a cost down here to operate, to order. So we'll order 40. It'll cost 16. Confirm the order, and they should arrive soon. If we take a look on the bottom of the screen here, you can see this is, you've got 10 slips or whatever. I'm guessing that's money. Oh, so you can actually build a pharmacy. Okay. So you go over here to the pharmacy, you can build it. Assign engineers to build a pharmacy. So you can expand your hospital through building new buildings and obviously advancing technology and things like that. So engineering's working on a pharmacy. There's also an engineering depot and other buildings and stuff like that that you can work on. So I'm guessing like this sort of rubble area turns into a building once it's produced. I didn't even wait to see what happened at the cemetery, but obviously, is there a number? So one deceased, one waiting for burial. So they are burying, burials in process. Doesn't look like you see the actual burial anywhere on here. I'm curious if there's like a max capacity for how many people can be buried. You get these little sort of whispers in your ear as well, like engineers have reached the construction site and other things like that to kind of help you keep track of things. Okay, one buried. State normal. It doesn't look like I'm curious if capacity ever becomes an issue where you've got to increase the size of the cemetery, but I don't see anything about that. Not yet, anyway. Maybe that's later. I mean, I'm curious that there's sort of a chapter story thing to this game when I didn't, you know, you would have thought you would have seen an option for like a sandbox game type deal too. Like this feels like the kind of game that could definitely be kind of a sandbox sort of management game as opposed to everything being kind of scripted. I guess we'll see, but there's definitely a story element to the game. All right, new patients have arrived at the casualty clearing station. Make sure we have enough surgical supplies and operate them on before their condition gets worse.
New patient arrived.
I don't think we have any. We have no surgical supplies yet. We're using 288 a day. This is our warehouse summary. So we do have a train that's coming that'll have 40 surgical supplies. But I don't think it's arrived yet. It arrives at 4:52, so it arrives in 2 hours. So that might be a problem, but let's go to the casualty clearing station. Let's go ahead and assign stuff. We've got 2 medical teams. Click on the CSS and the CSS interior to assign patient view. All right, so... All right, good status, good status. Oh, that's cool. So I know it keeps popping up with this kind of a little annoying. I'd like to see, like, so you can see this soldier, Frederick Norbury, is in the casualty clearing station. He's in the 4th Infantry Division, joined on the 28th of November 1918. That's after the war is over, so that must just be a generic random date they throw in there. Yeah, keep popping up. Born 1900, he's 17 years old. Belgium, Wallonia, Hainaut, and in separation with no children. So he's divorced with no children, okay? This guy is born in the United Kingdom. East Riding of Yorkshire, is single with 2 children. Born in 1877, so he's 40. 34th Division, he's a warrant officer 2nd class. I wonder if rank ends up coming into a factor at all. All right, so we built the pharmacy. We need to produce surgical supplies in the pharmacy. Okay. All right. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Easy there. So I need to assign these folks, right? CSS interior. Okay. So you can see we've got 2 individuals. Each have 1 bandage icon, which I don't really know what that means. It'd be nice if it told me. Like if there was if you hovered over here and it told you. They've been waiting for less than an hour. Operation difficulty, failure chance, operation cost. Okay, so that's what the bandage means. It's the cost of the operation of medical supplies. Failure chance of the operation difficulty, wound severity. I don't understand what that means though. So like, what does that little icon mean? Looks like I can assign them both. Not enough medicine. All right, so he's resting. As soon as I assign a doctor, he is no longer resting. But he doesn't have medicine to do the operation. So we should probably go to the pharmacy to try and produce some supplies. So we need to assign some workers to do that. So the engineers work in the pharmacy? That's strange. I wouldn't think an engineer would work in the pharmacy. Would prefer not to work in the pharmacy. Do all of them prefer not to work in the pharmacy? Sorry, buddy, but you guys need to work in the pharmacy. I need to produce some medical supplies. Okay, so drag at least 1 of the available engineers to 1 of the slots in the pharmacy. I did that. It doesn't tell me how much they're going to actually produce. It looks like 20 engineers is to 1.7 per hour. Okay. So that's not very much. They're not producing at a very rapid rate. Meanwhile, I've done this casualty clearing station thing, but like I don't actually have the medical supplies to do anything. How much capacity does he have? Like, is there a... It doesn't really say. We already have the nurse.
Reached the pharmacy.
All right, so we're trying to produce 15. We need to operate on those 2 patients. Meanwhile, we're waiting. Says it's June 6th. I believe it says it's 1918. So the war's got about, what, 5 months left. So we are sort of at the tail end of the German offensive period, I believe. They might have even all been done by now. It's very close. I don't know how closely the date matters to anything in here. You can kind of keep track of your objectives here on the right side. Surgical supplies 15, new patients 2. You got the very basic UI up here. You can there's 2 things you can do here. You can click on this, which brings you to the casualty clearing station. This guy's operated on with what? They didn't have. Okay, is he? I guess I'll have to keep an eye on that. And then the other icon here, which gives you sort of the menu options. So personal assignments, staff overview, patient overview, camp improvements, request resources, hire personnel, train schedule, warehouse summary, cemetery, and rations. So if we go to the patient overview here, operated 027. So I don't think that's past tense. I think he's being operated on now. Because you can see the progress is going up. So they are working on him right now. He has not actually completed his so it's operating, not operated. So maybe he'll survive?
Sir, operation was successful.
Yay! Humanitarian. Does he go into recovery then? Like, I'm assuming there's a recovery thing too. Maybe the rehabilitation center. Send to the trenches. Oh man. Raises when you send soldiers. So there's a combat power element here. I wonder if you don't send enough soldiers back to the trenches if you get overrun. Which is maybe a little silly. Like the war isn't being won by how quickly I'm sending 4 or 5 soldiers back out to the front. Meanwhile, it looks like the train has arrived. So I think if we go to the warehouse, maybe the resources would have arrived. Yep, so we've got 41 surgical supplies, so enough to operate on that other individual now. Sometimes operations might require you to choose a course of action. An exclamation mark will show up at the top of the screen, and click on that icon to solve the situation. Oh boy, jeez. Aaron Borobo. Sir, it seems that the patient's body was able to fight off the infection on its own. Closing the wound should be enough to help the patient recover. Allow for only closing the wounds. It reduces the medical cost of the material. He looks very skeletal. Those legs, man, you gotta eat more. Do the procedure by the book. Shorter rehabilitation by about 7.5 hours. So we can either save some medical supplies by being like, oh, you're fine, just close them back up. Or we can do the procedure by the book, use the medical supplies, and he'll rehabilitate quicker. You can make your decision based on the cards here. So you've got our doctor here. Missing little finger on his left hand does not prevent him from performing surgery. There will be traits for different doctors, not this individual, but will be for others. He also has the status of rested, so he should be in good shape for the operation. Meanwhile, the actual patient here, you've got admitted to the CSS, diagnosis, I don't know what that means. Operation performed by Aaron Bordeaux, encountered simplifications during the procedure. So you could probably have complications or simplifications. In this case, it's a simplification. He's an emerging writer. Maybe he'll write some fantasy stories about the Lord of the Rings. Operation time less than 2 hours. Not a demanding operation. 3 out of 6 stars. 1 out of 6 chance of failure. So basically none. No complications. Simplification chance is certain. So this is not a life or death decision. This is just a resource decision. But we're going to do it by the book. I'm not really worried about a single, quantity of medical supplies. This might matter if we were like running if we only had 1 or 2 medical supplies left, but we just had a train arrive with 40 more. So we should be good there. Meanwhile, once that, is the operation done yet? No, it's still going on. Because we did it by the book. We didn't just close them back up.
Sir, operation was successful.
All right. All right, so now we're getting a warning that the rehabilitation center is not operating. We've got, okay. We've got Frederick Norby, who is in the rehabilitation station after his procedure. We have no nurses assigned to this. So let's go inside the rehab. Nope, not that. Let's go back to this. Gotcha. And then let's go to assignment. We've got to assign a nurse to the rehabilitation center. So this is basically, I mean, this is doesn't have any preference. Okay, so that's casualty clearing, rehabilitation. All right, so we've got one nurse assigned to the operating ward, one nurse assigned to the rehabilitation center. I wonder if you assign a nurse to the casualty clearing station, if they can issue some palliative care or some stuff to help improve the chances of your patients surviving, maybe? Because right now we've just got the dudes carrying the stretchers, but if you assign a nurse to the casualty clearing station, yeah, it does say patient state improves by a percentage. So yeah, you could improve the...
Nurses are on the way.
All right. So now she's going to the rehabilitation center. There are now 4 more patients arriving at the casualty clearing station. So we'll go here. Time to put knowledge into action. A group of wounded just arrived. Heal them. Heal them. Okay. So let's go to the inside the CSS and see what we've got here. The wound severity. The worse the wound, the faster the patient's state will deteriorate. So these all look the same. Like they have different arrows pointed like a clock. But it doesn't actually tell me anything about this. Which is not great as far as, you know, the UI. Like, that's not very straightforward. At least in terms of operating costs, that is straightforward. This is going to consume 6 medical supplies, 6, 4, and 4. So they're definitely more severe than the last ones. They've all been waiting for less than an hour. This individual is a much more difficult procedure here. You can see 5 out of 6 stars. So it will be, you know, it's going to take more energy from the doctor. It'll take more time. Our doctor's already tired because he's been working for a bit. So I think what we're going to end the failure chance is not very high on any of these, but my doctor's also tired. I don't have more doctors. He needs to rest. Can I keep him in the casualty clearing station for a little while? I've got enough resources, but if I make him tired, is he going to like butcher these folks? So the top 2 are difficult and the bottom 2 are medium. Everybody's in a good status at the moment. We'll do 1 exhausted. Set rest. Wait, I'm confused. What did I just do? Is the patient exhausted? Or he will be exhausted after the operation? Let's do this. Let's go to the staff overview. Go to our doctors. Surgeons, physicians, and trauma specialist. What is he anyway? He's a surgeon. He's slightly tired. All right. Doctors who've collapsed cannot work until they regain all their energy. Make sure to use rest markers when you have a lot of patients. Okay, so that makes sense. All right. Nice little tidbit here. So if I were to assign 2 patients, you can see here after patient 1, doctor's going to be exhausted. After patient 2, he will be extremely exhausted. After patient 3, he'll probably collapse, I'm guessing, after patient 2. After the extremely exhausted. So what we will do is we'll set a rest breaker in here so that he will rest between patient 1 and between patient 2. And then we can, you know, he'll be tired again after this operation. So actually, let's do this. Let's mix these priorities up here. We'll do a slightly less taxing procedure first. What if I do the more taxing first? Still exhausted, so it doesn't make a difference there. So we'll do the more taxing procedure first. It's a more urgent case. If these were like 6 stars, then I'd probably just let him die and put him into the denied folder, but I'm guessing it doesn't want me to do that yet, or it would probably tell me like, hey, this is someone you can't save. So we'll do the very difficult operation first, or the 5 out of 6. We'll set a rest marker after it, so he gets a little bit of a break. Then he'll go into the slightly less taxing procedures next, and then we will probably do, it looks like he can get through all of these and then be exhausted. So we'll do procedure, rest, procedure, procedure, procedure. It will use 20 of our 43 medical supplies, but that still leaves us with 23 left. And so you'll see you'll carry these guys over and then the operations will begin. I'm assuming this is basically like a management tycoon type game. So you're going to end up having, presumably you're going to hire more staff, more nurses, more doctors. I'm guessing, the canteen uses a certain amount of food every however many minutes. I didn't mean to click on that. So let's go to the warehouse here and see how we're doing with food. Do we need to have any more trains bring anything else in? So we've got our train brings in income. Okay. So here's our balance. 168, 46. I guess. I don't really understand how money works in this. You've got the icons here on the bottom. You've got engineering points. You've got medical supplies, trauma medical supplies, chemical medical supplies, food rations, alcohol, and then this military drafts. But, yeah. Do we even have anyone working in the canteen? Everybody's got enough food. Anyway, this is the tutorial, so it'll tell me when I need to do something else, I'm guessing. All right, so they carried the one guy into the operating room. I'm curious if they're going to just like keep moving these guys from the casualty clearing station over to the operating ward. It looks like they're waiting until the operation's complete. So George Keege's operation's underway.
Sir, operation was successful.
Okay. Successfully finished the operation with the doctor close to collapse. That's not good. So our doctor is resting for the next 8 hours. I hope these guys can wait for 8 hours. Holy crap. That's a long time for a doctor, like just to leave these guys in this rickety old building. Like, look at this. This is just like plywood boards over and a couple of awnings. It can't be very waterproof. I need more doctors. Let me hire more doctors. Why does my train bring in money? I don't understand that. Anyway, these guys are rehabilitating, so one of these guys will be done in about an hour. We've produced 7 of our own medical supplies. Remember, we do have that pharmacy that is producing supplies. Do those engineers who are producing the supplies, do they get more tired? Do they get rest? So if I go to my engineers here, these guys are producing. It does say they're rested, so I don't know. The scouts apparently scout around the hospital, but I don't really know what that means. Like, do they find more patients? Do they find resources? Like, what's the significance of that? I don't know. There is a scouting tent. I don't think I've actually built it yet. No, it's unbuilt. So we could build that, but it feels like we're still kind of in the canteen thing. We can improve different buildings. So if you go to the lodgings, for example, you can. So yeah, it doesn't look like this is money. Like these drafts here are money because it consumes drafts to improve, and it also consumes medical stuff. So we can make medical team rooms, increases the max amount of medics by 4, nurse rooms, engineer rooms, or staff lodging based on amenities, decreases rest time needed by 10%. That feels like a pretty important thing to do. I don't know if I can do that yet. I've got sufficient resources. Oh, so I can assign one of these engineers to do the construction. So we'll pull one of them out of the pharmacy so they can go build the improvements to the staff lodgings. I know it's the tutorial and it didn't tell me to do it, but screw that. I'm going to do it anyway. We're going rogue. We're going off script. Trauma medical supplies. So you can expand the pharmacy so you can make trauma medical supplies and chemical medical supplies. I have not consumed any of those yet, so. There's patients waiting for decisions in the rehabilitation center. What are the decisions I need? What do we need to decide? Release date. All right, waiting for decision. So we can either send you to the trenches, which increases combat power, which the game has not really told me how that, if that matters yet. We can go to the HQ. You're granted military drafts for sending soldiers to the HQ, so it gives me more money. Or release from duty. You're granted morale for releasing the soldiers from service. If we get out of here, we have 8 military drafts. So I could use more because that's money, right? Basically. I see no icon for combat power. It has not told me how that matters yet. Morale is 49, so it's not great. We could definitely use morale, or we could use military drafts. So let's send this. It looks like actually you're awaiting a decision. Let's send one of you to the HQ. Like, does it matter? It doesn't. Does it say anything about any of these? So this guy will give me 3 military drafts. This guy will give me 2. This guy has less combat power. You can see these chevrons represent their combat power. So generally speaking, you get more military drafts for sending a higher combat power back. Let's go ahead and send you to HQ and you to the trenches. Although the game hasn't told me anything about combat power yet, so maybe we don't do that. Maybe we just send you. Give me morale. Make morale go up.
Sir, patient is cured.
Patient is cured. To the headquarters with you. I'm assuming it's just like a political thing, like, hey, you returned him to the replacement pool as opposed to sending him directly to the trenches in front of the hospital or something, right? All right, so 4 hours left on you to rehabilitate. How are these patients who are just like chilling in the casualty clearing station doing? Because we got 6 more hours to rest. They're all good. So it seems like they must not be too badly wounded to be able to rest the night waiting for your operation. They're not bleeding out or anything. It seems like they're stable, I guess. Now you can speed time up down here. Not really doing anything. We're just kind of waiting. Did we build that update yet? Is it still being constructed? No, it's still being constructed. Okay. So we're speeding things along a bit. You know, it's middle of the night. It's the middle of the night. I was rocking in my sleep. Ooh, you get a little bit of dust here with the scaffolding and the construction underway. It's going to be like a 2 a.m. operation for my doctor. Did the other guy complete his rehabilitation? Not yet. So I'm assuming this gets much more hectic too when you've got a lot of patients and a lot of things going on. Again, this is all very early game, but the amenities are done. So that should speed up the rest time, I'm guessing, for the doctors. Maybe. All right, so we've got food. We're slowly producing that those medical supplies, and actually now that that guy finished his work, he's resting for 2 hours. So if I leave him here, he resting for 2 hours would prefer. So. They both could use some rest, but I think they're okay for now. So let's go ahead and have them. Let's produce that stuff. I want to accomplish the produce 15 medical supplies. So sorry, buddy, you're back to work. I know it's 1 in the morning, but chop chop. Let's get those medical supplies produced so we can accomplish that next task. Good job. That concludes the production basics. You can find more details in the production menu. Okay, so we, I guess, accomplished that part of the tutorial. You are awaiting a decision. How's this? The morale? The morale is 52 still. So morale's 52. I don't know how many more combat drafts I need, but I don't really understand the significance of the trenches. It hasn't really told me that yet, so let's just send him back to the HQ.
Patient is cured.
Meanwhile, the other patients are waiting on the doctor to be done resting.
From HQ, sir.
Uh-oh.
Sir, our defensive
Defensive lines have been broken. Multiple casualties. The 36th Division is in retreat. Okay.
Oh my, that is terrible news.
Oh no, Sister Janet is distressed.
Another bunch of those poor bastards will be here soon.
Oh.
I'll better check our stock.
All right, so we're probably going to get a bunch of additional patients here.
The hospital. Are we to evacuate the facility?
No, sir. HQ gives us no such orders, sir. In fact, there were no orders for
So
us.
do we know if the 36th Division is in front of the hospital or something? Like, I'm guessing this comes back to combat power. Now it's going to start telling me like, hey, you should send soldiers to the front because 1 or 2 soldiers is going to stop the Hun. But anyway, that's a trope of a lot of these games. Meanwhile, if is our doctor done resting? He is done resting, so he is now operating again. So hopefully we can clear these patients out soon. We are producing some limited amount of medical supplies still in the surgical facilities or in the pharmacy. All right.
Sir, operation was successful.
Good. So the operation was successful. So now he will move to the rehabilitation center probably. We'll clear the second patient. Our doctor is still rested. Now he's operating on the next patient. So we've got 2 more patients to clear. We are producing a small amount of medical supplies locally. We've got 42. The next operation is going to use, I think, 6 or maybe it was 4. But it looks like these 3 will use 6 combined. So we'll still be in the 30s, which will be more than... Well, won't be more than we started with, but it'll be around what we brought in on the last train. I'm curious if the next batch of patients will have more advanced medical conditions. Like if we'll need to use chemical supplies or advanced medical supplies. So far, all we've needed is very basic medical supplies. But you can see here we've now saved 4 patients. 1 has died. Are these the next batch of wounded patients?
Sir, operation was successful.
Okay, so these second operation successful, so we're gonna pull this next guy out and put him into the operating center, I guess. Unless these guys are stuck. No, they're gone.
Sir, survivors from our forces in the north.
Forces in the north. There's 6 patients awaiting decisions. All right, so
Lieutenant Colonel Angus McFidley, commanding the 36th.
my orders are to set up a temporary line of defense north from here, but I'll not be able to do it with our limited forces. Okay.
I understand. How can we help?
So this is where it's going to be like, hey, send me your patients.
Kill as many of the soldiers from the front line as possible. Having them reinforce our defensive line will help our men
Yep,
significantly.
that's right.
How many do you need?
As many as you can provide, I'm afraid. Intelligence reports suggest that Germans will launch an attack on our position on the 8th of June.
The 8th of June?
Around noon.
Oh, man. Now you know through the healing. Good job. Now you know how to heal. Okay, so sometimes patients cannot be healed and should be denied operation. Enter casualty clearing station. Okay.
Reinforcements from HQ.
There will be none. Not until the 21st of June at least. HQ is gathering forces and regrouping for a major counter-offensive.
Survive on our own.
Survive on our own until that day.
On our own?
Ah.
This is a hospital, not a military camp. How do they expect us to manage that?
Why is there an ambulance coming through here?
Intelligence reports they have. We will know about every attack and the estimated.
It keeps giving me a pop-up to go into casualty clearing while it's still giving me the whole little spiel from this character.
I understand, Lieutenant Colonel. There are old trenches nearby. You can set up defenses there. We will try to send enough men to survive enemy attacks.
Survive until 5 a.m. on the 21st of June. HQ's gathering forces, regrouping for a major counteroffensive. All right, so we have 13 days that we have to survive till. The enemy's going to begin an offensive tomorrow by noon. Do we have anybody rehabilitating? All right, Albert White is in the rehabilitation center, so we'll go there. Waiting for a decision. His combat power is not great. What's this? Too few. I need 9, I'm guessing, or somewhere between 8 and 9 combat power, I'm guessing. Stop doing this. All right, so we'll send him to the trenches. So you can see here we've got 2. Good. That's definitely not enough, but you can see we're on here. So there's a little chart here along the top of the screen about, you know, how much combat power you have, how much you need to survive. So we're sending a slightly wounded individual back to hold the line. We'll have more patients. This really needs to stop popping up when I'm in another window. We'll have more patients ready to be rehabilitated soon. This guy's like got 1 chevron. He's not going to be worth sending. So this guy will probably not go, but this one up here is nearly full chevron combat power. So anyway, so we've got to go to the casualty clearing station. Okay. Why did the screen just go? See, now it wants me to click up here. The trenches. The trenches near the hospital are protected by soldiers from the 36th Division. If they're to be defeated, the hospital will be forced to evacuate, causing a game over. Okay, so that's how you lose. Show all important information relating to the defense of the trenches. All incoming German attacks are indicated on the timeline as blah. All soldiers assigned to the trenches are shown on the timeline as blah, face with helmet. Each attack in the trenches requires a certain amount of soldiers to repel it. The current status of the defenses in the trenches is shown on the timeline. So we need this much combat power, I'm guessing. So this is too few. There's not enough soldiers in the trenches to defend against the attack. This is solid. This is good. So right now we are good, but I don't believe that. Okay. Okay, so you take casualties also, depending on how things go. All right, so here's the trenches. Anyway, we're going to not be in the trenches for now. Let's go back to the casualty clearing center, go inside the CSS. So stable, 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 good. Denying awaiting patients is in a terminal state. The operation is costly, time-consuming, and the chances of success are extremely low. In those cases, it's better to deny the patient. That way you'll lose less morale and be able to save other patients. Oh, no. So who am I doing that to? I don't see anyone. There's 8 patients awaiting. So these are the length of the... These guys have been waiting... Oh, so probably this guy down here, right? Like he's got 3 bullet hole icons, which I'm assuming means he is more badly wounded. It doesn't say he's in a terminal state, but he's a level 6 difficulty, a level 6 complication. This guy's not probably going to survive. So if we move him over to denied, then he will not be operated on and only offered palliative care until they die. Their death has a smaller impact on morale. Good job. Okay. Sorry, buddy. Let's take a look here. Who are we denying? Flint Rook. Can I, if I go here, can I see information about the patient who I'm killing? He is no longer a patient in here? Oh, here he is. 4th Infantry Division. Joined 3 years ago. So he is a veteran. He's 25. Single and no children. I'm sorry, Flint. Sorry we couldn't save you. He's a former retailer. Only has one dream. One day to forget it all. However, he knows that will never come true. Unfortunately, in Flint, in your case... is true. We had to deny. It's for the greater good, right? We had to let him die so we could save the others. So our doctor is exhausted and resting at the moment because he finished his last patient not that long ago. Here's the question, right? Like, how do you stagger healing patients when you have 7 patients in the medical tent? How do you decide how do you go with the less difficult cases to get more people out quickly? But then you have more people die? Or do you go with a couple of the complicated ones to try and save folks who, you know, you can save, while the other guys are probably okay waiting for a little bit because they're not as bad off. So I have one doctor. I'm not going to be able to save all these guys. This guy is going to only consume 3 medical bandages. He's stable. He's 2 stars, but he does have 2 bullet wounds, which indicates a more serious injury. So he will probably turn quicker. So we will put him in here because he is a quicker heal despite a more complicated wound. And doesn't consume too many supplies. The rest of these 2 bullet wounds are considerably more complex, but this guy's only 2 stars. He does have a higher chance of failure, but he's only got 2 stars on operation difficulty, so the operation itself doesn't appear to be too difficult. So we'll put him in there. He's 8. It does consume 8 medical supplies. And then we are going to move down to the more simple cases because these guys are going to take a while. Their operations aren't quick, so we don't want the simple cases to go bad. We do want to get as many folks out as we can. And so you can see here, I hope the operation will be painless. So we'll set rest for this guy here. So he'll do these 2 operations, rest, and then he'll go to the more simple cases. Unfortunately, I do think it means that we're going to have to put another one of these guys into the denied category here. It does say he's stable. I don't know if you can pull people out. It looks like you can pull people out of denied care. But for difficulty, I don't want to take morale hits, right? Like for them dying. I guess we could just, he consumes less medical supplies, so we could just add him there. I'm assuming when you have more doctors, the next card shows up down here, down here, down here, down here. And then this is sort of the workflow for each doctor as they operate. We're going to use 28 of our 41 medical supplies. That's fine. We'll leave the one guy to wait. And we're paused, so we'll unpause. So the next operation is underway.
Sir, new patient arrived.
2? Maybe we should hire another surgeon. More hands to work means we won't have to deny as many patients. How do I do that? Oh, hire personnel. Okay, so you go up here. Hire personnel. It costs staff points. So we probably have enough nurse. I don't know if we have enough nurses, but it's telling us to hire a surgeon. So we've got 1 of 2 potential surgeons. We can hire another one. It'll cost 4 of the draft, whatever. It'll max us out at 2 out of 2. I also kind of like the idea of hiring another nurse, but it doesn't give me that option right now. Confirm the order. I'm ordering a new doctor. All right, how are we doing on all this other stuff? We got plenty of food. We've got alcohol. Like, these other things haven't mattered yet. So it'll take 4 hours for the surgeon to show up. Meanwhile, we've got a lot of people waiting in the casualty clearing station. The operation is, I guess, underway. Okay. They're really bringing in a lot more. All right, we've got 2 more people awaiting decisions. So you've got 3 combat power. We're going to send you to the trenches. Ooh, we are now strong. Interesting. This doesn't seem to have gone up at all, but it does say we're strong. I don't know. I assumed it meant we'd have to get between 8 and 9 combat power, but I'm not sure. This didn't seem to move much. Or maybe that's number of soldiers, actually. That would make more sense. Meanwhile, so you're at 3. We just purchased a new doctor, right? We're going to lose a few patients. Some morale will probably go down too. But if we get overrun, it's game over. So let's send both of these guys to the trenches.
Sir, patient is cured.
So now we go to the front. We can see here's the trenches. It's kind of a silly mechanic for a game like this to have, but I guess you need a way to have game over other than just run out of money. I don't know if I can do anything in the trenches, like build anything up. I'm guessing not. But at least the next attack, which is supposed to be noon tomorrow, should be able to be repelled pretty easily. I don't know if you like watch the attack unfold. All right, operations underway. Remember, we're going to do 2 operations and then our doctor's going to take a break. This guy's stable and good. He's in good condition? What's this? Did he die waiting? Does that mean he's going to die before his... What was up with that? I wonder if that meant he was going to die before he got operated on. Whatever it was, it looks like I finagled it and it went away. Huh, we'll have to keep an eye on that. All right, he's operating on that dude. Doesn't have anybody else having it died yet. Still just the one. So I think that may have indicated that he may not survive long enough to get operated on. But our new doctor should arrive here soon. Probably when our current operating doctor is resting. What's going on here? Exhausted. All right, go rest. So we're going to stop producing as many supplies because it looks like one of our staff is exhausted. So we can get into personnel assignments here. This guy's resting. I don't know about our other staff, how they're doing. Anybody else exhausted? You're not really doing anything. These medics aren't doing a whole lot. They're not like constantly working. I'm assuming based on the fact that when the doctors aren't working, they rest automatically, that the other individuals, when they're not carrying stretchers and stuff, they rest as well, but maybe not. I did hire a surgeon, right? We're just waiting for him to arrive. Yeah, he's incoming. Okay. Let's hire another. Why can't I do that? Why is it red? What's down here? What's this? Staff points. HQ requests. So I don't have enough staff points to hire more people other than the doctor we've already hired, I guess. Maybe I'll get it when that doctor arrives. I think he's supposed to be here in like an hour. This has been a long operation. It was a more complex operation, so it makes sense that it would take more time. Hopefully he survives. I'm just assuming he survives.
So we lost this patient.
No. Such a long operation and for him to die? That being said, we've been going for about an hour now, guys. So I'm going to wrap this video up here. Let me know if you want to see more of this. This is an interesting little game. It's obviously a sort of a resource management, hospital crew management, Tycoon style type game. Definitely different theme. I haven't seen something like this in a long time. I kind of joked about it being a MASH game, but it basically is. But this game just came out today. So interesting little game. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, as always. And until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and I'm out.